Esta serie documental presenta la investigación, la experiencia y el ejemplo de vida de hombres y mujeres, activistas de una transformación profunda en la sociedad. Sus mensajes hablan del sentido de la Tierra como sistema integral y señalan un horizonte de conciencia nueva y de mayor sensibilidad. Los invitamos a beber del manantial de sus palabras y así poder escuchar las muy diferentes voces de la Tierra.
Satish Kumar es un referente a nivel internacional dentro del universo del activismo ambientalista. Nació en India. A sus 20 años, junto a un amigo, se embarcaron en una peregrinación por la paz. Creó una escuela secundaria pionera en la que niños y jóvenes aprenden ecointeligencia de la naturaleza. Allí también funda y dirige el Schumacher College, un centro educativo residencial de prestigio internacional en el que se enseña a estudiantes venidos de todo el mundo una nueva visión de la realidad a través de los valores ecológicos. Continúa enseñando y dirigiendo seminarios sobre ecología reverencial, educación holística y simplicidad voluntaria. Insiste en que la naturaleza sea prioridad en todos los debates de política y sociedad.
I am a founder of Schumacher College in England. Is one of the very few colleges in the world where we study holistic science, holistic economics, and holistic ecological design. At the moment, our world teaches young people to look at the world as separate. Things are disconnected. So we put subjects into categories. So we say economics is not connected with ecology, ecology not connected with science, science not connected with spirituality, spirituality not connected with arts. Everything is separate, separate, separate. We say that everything is connected. Everything is interrelated, interdependent. And so we call it holistic. So when you are studying economics, you have to study how ecology and economics come together and how the values come together, spirituality, and what is the consciousness behind it. So science and spirituality come together. Most of the universities in the world teach only head, only theoretical, intellectual, analytical, scientific thinking, knowledge. We say the knowledge should be accompanied with experience. And experience comes when you make something, when you cook the food, when you garden the vegetables, when you build a house, when you make a chair, you make a pot, you do something with your hands and you put your feelings in your work. So your compassion, your kindness, your love for the arts, and your generosity of spirit, all those things must come into practice. So we say education of head, education of heart, education of hands, these three together. The first teacher we had was James Lovelock. James Lovelock is the founder of Gaia hypothesis. So the earth is not a dead rock, it's a living organism. Nature is alive and earth is alive. If we look at nature as a dead, inanimate, and we look at earth as dead and inanimate, then we will not respect it. We will not take care of it. But if we say that nature is alive, nature is intelligent, nature has memory, earth is intelligent, earth is a living organism, then we'll take care of it. That humans and nature are not separate. Nature is not only out there, the mountains, the rivers, the animals, the birds, the forests are nature, and we humans are not nature. This is the prevalent idea in the world. We say this is wrong. We are also nature. Humans are also nature. The value of nature is not only in terms of her usefulness to humans. The nature has intrinsic value. nature is good in itself. We should not judge nature, how useful it is for humans. We should look at the world and see it whole and not in separate compartments and divisions. Unity of life is the first principle. And biodiversity is the part of unity. So unity in diversity. So we celebrate diversity, biodiversity, cultural diversity, linguistic diversity, truth diversity, diversity at every level. But diversity should not be turned into divisions and separation and disconnection. Diversity should be celebrated within the context of unity of life. So we are made of the same elements. Nature and humans are made of earth, air, fire, water. But manifestation is millions and billions and trillions of forms. So this is what I learned from Mahatma Gandhi, that unity of life manifesting in many, many diverse forms, diversity, they complement each other. I also got inspiration to work for peace. But peace, as I learned from a Jain tradition, not only peace meaning absence of war and absence of nuclear weapons. Peace is also holistic. So first and foremost, you have to have peace in your heart, peace with yourself. If you have no inner peace, you cannot create outer peace. And then you make peace with other people. Never mind whatever your nationality, whether you are American or Russian or Chinese or Indian or Pakistani or Argentinian or Brazilian, whatever your nationality, we are all human beings. We are members of one earth community. Our true country is cosmos. And so we make peace with all religions, whether you are Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Jews, whatever Christians, whatever religion you have, you are human being. And so we don't divide people under these labels of religions or nationality. And so that's making peace with people on the basis of unity of life. And then making peace with nature. Because at the moment, humanity is trying to conquer nature. Humanity is trying to subjugate nature. And therefore, it is almost like at war with nature. The way we cut down the rainforest, the way we are polluting our oceans, the way we are putting animals in factory farms, the way we are putting poisons in the soil, all that are acts of war against nature. So we say, make peace with nature. So make peace with yourself, make peace with humanity, and make peace with nature. So that idea was in my mind, and with that message, I started with a friend of mine walking from New Delhi, from the grave of Mahatma Gandhi, and walked through Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, Russia, Moscow. Because Moscow, Paris, London, Washington, these were the four nuclear capitals at that time who were waging sort of Cold War and division. And then I walked from Russia to Belarus, Poland, Germany, Belgium, France. And then in Paris, again, I demonstrated for peace. And then I walked, I took a boat from Calais to Dover, and then I walked to London, and then presented the message of peace in London. And then I took a boat from Southampton to New York and walked from New York to Washington. And we ended our walk at the grave of John F. Kennedy. And then we went to the White House and we presented our case of peace at the White House. And then we went to Japan, and from Tokyo to Hiroshima. Again, I walked because Hiroshima was the first city to be bombed by nuclear hydrogen bomb. So we made that pilgrimage. And then we took a boat back to India. So that was 2.5 years of walking 8,000 miles, 13,000 kilometers I walked with my friend for peace. But peace within, peace in the world, and peace with nature. 3 levels of peace. Because at the moment in our world, we have a trend of making bigger and bigger and bigger. Big business, big industry, big government, big everything, big universities, big hospitals. And when you make things bigger and bigger and bigger, you lose human scale and human touch and human relationship. And therefore, Schumacher said that humanity should come first and the organizations should be in the service of humanity. And therefore, in order to create human touch, human connection, human relationship, and maintaining human spirit, we need to have organizations small. And therefore, small is beautiful. Our earth and nature is finite. It cannot sustain endless, unlimited economic growth. And more consumerism, more and more materialism will destroy the planet. Therefore, we have to have our lifestyle, which is elegant, comfortable, beautiful, but simple. Elegant simplicity. For sustainability, each and every individual who believe in simplicity, in sustainability, in living lightly and making a small footprint on planet Earth, then they have to practice it. They have to be the change that they want to see in the world. Then second stage is to communicate the change. So those who believe in simplicity and an ecological lifestyle have to communicate through words, through music, through art, through gardening, through cooking, through many ways you can communicate to other people. We have to learn to communicate. So be the change and communicate the change. People are organizing to remind people that climate change and global warming is a real issue. And if we go on being consumerist, materialistic lifestyle, then this planet cannot sustain it, and humanity cannot survive, and civilization cannot survive. So we have to change our lifestyle, and we have to change our way of living and being and make it simple. Simplicity becomes the message. So be the change, communicate the change, organize the change. We have to change our society, change our economics, change our industry, change our business, change our politics in order to sustain the earth and sustain our lifestyle so that we don't create this havoc by creating climate change and global warming and so much carbon emission in the atmosphere and greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So this is a wonderful movement, an example of how we can create a new awareness. Like Mahatma Gandhi's example of non-violent direct action to remind people that whole of humanity must come together to take care of our whole planet Earth and not destroy it. So that is the way to change the world. Many wonderful people in a whole history we have seen who have been successful in transforming our consciousness and transforming our society by non-violent means. So non-violence will beget non-violence. Love will beget love. Compassion will beget compassion. So I say to people who practice violence and armed revolution or using arms and killing people, say you will not succeed. People are not going to follow you. Nobody follows people who have been violent. Nobody wants to follow Hitler. Nobody wants to follow people who have been dictators. They don't celebrate. Who we celebrate in our life today is Buddha, Jesus Christ, Mahatma Gandhi, St. Francis, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa. These are the heroes of our time. So we must follow the great example of such leaders. And in their footsteps, we step by step, day by day, we change our society and we bring new consciousness and new spirit in our world. We need to learn to live graciously and beautifully. Some people who want to make profit and earn money, they promote glamour and they sell the idea of glamour to people in the name that if you have a more glamorous life, you will be happier. But glamour does not make you happy. It's the graciousness which makes you happy. And when you live gracious life, beautiful life, kind and gentle, but at the same time artistic, and same time poetic, and sometimes musical, and beautiful dance, and beautiful architecture, authentic life is a gracious life. So I always say, let's shift away from fashionable, glamorous life to gracious and elegant life. And more people are waking up, and they are saying that we don't want to, because this glamorous and this technological fixing and this kind of speed and this kind of overwork and all the time on iPhone and the smartphone and a computer and internet and all the things which we have, Facebook and social media and so on, that is taking people's comfort away. And people are becoming stressed, people are becoming anxious, and people have no time for themselves, they have no time for their family, they have no time for their friends, they have no time for their gardening or walking or living. And so more and more people are realizing that this is okay. It has a place. Technology has a place. Maybe 20% of your time, 30% of your time you can give for technology. But if you devote your whole life to technological way and a fashionable way and a glamorous way, then you are not happy. You are burdened, anxious, stressed, and the family not working together, friends not there. You feel lonely. You feel disconnected. You feel isolated. So we need spirituality and science together. Science is good because science is about measurement, about physical reality. But in life, there is more than physical reality. We are also human spirit. That cannot be measured. You cannot measure your love. You cannot measure your generosity and compassion. You cannot measure your friendship. You cannot measure feelings. But without feelings, without love, without friendship, without compassion, without generosity, there is no human life. Human life is not just human body, which we can measure. And so, without spirituality, science is dangerous. Science can create nuclear weapons. Science can create genetic engineering of seeds. Science can create things which undermine, undervalue, and diminish the human qualities. Therefore, science must be guided by ethical, spiritual principles. Then science can be good in the service of humanity and the service of the planet Earth. With the same argument, I also say that without science, spirituality is also dangerous. Because spirituality can quickly become dogma, blind faith, fundamentalism. The new story is connection. The new story is relationship between science and spirituality, between outer, which is science, and inner, which is spirit. Spirituality should not be confused with organized religions. Organized religions are only a channel. The spirituality is in your heart, and spirituality is in your relationship with other people and with nature. Spirituality has nothing to do with any belief system, blind faith. That is not spirituality. Spirituality is love, relationship. So we breathe together. You and I are breathing the same air. All human beings in the world, 7 billion people, are breathing the same air. Spirituality connects. Spirituality unites. Spirituality is about relationship. And spirituality is not about dogma, beliefs, and religious organizations or institutionalized religions and theology. All those things come later. And I'm not talking about those organized blind faith. I'm talking about true spirit, the human spirit. Without human spirit, human body is useless. But without human body, human spirit cannot manifest itself. So human body, human spirit go together. Health is fundamental to human well-being. But health is not to be kind of pursued after you have become ill. So healthy lifestyle before medicine. So if we don't live a healthy life, then we are going to become ill. At the moment in our world, there's so much illness. People are suffering from cancer, heart disease, depression, all those things because of our lifestyle. So we have to live well, ecological, sustainable, spiritual. Also, for healthy living, you need to have a good psychology. If you are anxious, if you are angry, if you are depressed, if you are feeling bad, that is not going to be healthy for your body. So reduce your anger, reduce your anxiety, reduce your worries. When people worry, they become ill. Thinking is good, worrying is not good. Fear is a cause of illness. So mind and body are connected. First, our industry promotes unhealthy way of life. Too much sugar, too much salt, too much packaged food, too much plastic, no exercise, and then too much anxiety, too much worry, and then we become ill. What do you expect? People who live in the city should always also walk in nature. And our cities should be redesigned. City should be in a garden, and the garden should be in the city. We should not send nature into exile out of the city. We must bring nature back in the city. At the moment in our cities, the life and work balance is not good. We work too much, too long hours for money, and then we are just exhausted. And just we spend money and still we are exhausted. System should be to make people happy, healthy, joyful, good family, good friendship, good joy. Work should be for people, not people for the work. So if the systems is such, we have to change the system. We have to create a new system which is in the service of humanity and not humanity in the service of system. And we can change it. The system is created by humans. What is created by humans can be changed by humans. We cannot become complacent and surrender, oh, we can't do anything, system is bad. And humanity has power to create new system which will serve humanity rather than humanity serving the system. Miracle of nature. When I see a seed in the ground coming out and becoming a plant, and a plant becoming a tree, and tree bringing branches out, and branches bringing leaves out, and from those branches and leaves come apples and oranges and tomatoes and a fruit out, and those fruit becoming sweet, fragrant, delicious. I'm amazed. When I look at the world and I see so many wonderful human beings engaged in good service of humanity, like the Dalai Lama. He is humble and he is in the service of humanity. He has no personal agenda, has no personal ambition. There are many activists at the grassroots level. There was a wonderful activist in Kenya, Africa, called Wangari Maathai. She was a professor in a university, but she went out of her university with her students and planted trees. And by the end of her life, she planted 20 million trees. She was given Nobel Prize for Peace for planting trees. So people who are humble, people who are activists, people who have no ego, people who have no arrogance, and offering their life, pure spirit, pure consciousness in the service of humanity, they inspire.
Distintas voces, matices, percepciones sobre una misma indagación. La complejidad de la vida, la enorme velocidad de los procesos humanos, la vitalidad creativa, el entendimiento abriéndose a múltiples dimensiones, la trama misteriosa de corazones que laten al pulso de la Tierra.
And what about the kids? What should we tell our children? How should they be prepared to live in a world that we don't know how to live in? As a mom, this is a big one for me, of recognizing that I need to create relationship in an intergenerational way in my own house that allows for us to learn together how to be in this changing world, to watch it together, to try to make sense of it together.
Children have a pure heart. Children are not corrupted as they are children. They come in the world with very pure heart. But then adults condition their minds and brainwash them and put them through the kind of machine of our consumerist, materialistic education and work. And we say, the life you have is for work, job. We need to teach children that your life is to be yourself and bring your talent and your genius and your qualities to serve the planet Earth. The ethos of serving, the service to the earth and to humanity. This egotistical education for personal success is ruining the lives of our children and young people. And so we must make children feel at home in this world and not alienated in this world. Children should feel joyful. What a wonderful world we have. The sun is shining. The stars are glaring in the sky. The moon is glaring. The trees are giving blossom and fruit. And the birds are flying in the sky. Hafiz, the Persian poet, asked a bird, "How can you fly so high in the sky?" The bird answered, "Love lifts me up." That's what we need to teach children. When you love, you will be lifted up like the bird. You have to have a big vision. You have to open your mind. We have to teach children. You have to open your heart.
Algunos seres humanos comienzan a sentir la necesidad biológica de estar en armonía con los demás seres vivos y de ayudar a que la inteligencia de la Tierra emerja en cada vez más individuos, de modo que juntos podamos percibir el maravilloso diseño que somos en un todo y parte de la Tierra y del universo.